Today we are going to start using our analogous colors. The color wheel is a helpful tool that artists use to find all different kinds of color relationships, like warm colors, cool colors, complementary colors, analogous colors, and so much more. Today let's focus on the analogous colors. So analogous colors are three colors that are neighbors on the color wheel. Analogous colors look good together because they're all going to be somewhat similar. This is because of color mixing. Notice that the two primary colors have a secondary color between them. That's how we know what two primary colors we need to mix to get that secondary color. Let's pick an analogous color scheme and see how these three colors are similar. Remember, analogous colors are three colors that are next to each other on the color wheel. Purple, red, and orange are neighbors that create an analogous color scheme. Purple is the secondary color. We see on the color wheel that red and blue are next to purple. That's the colors that we need to mix to get that secondary color. Now our next color in our analogous color scheme is red. Red is a primary color. And remember, primary colors do not need to be mixed. Orange is the next color that we're going to look at in our analogous color scheme. Orange is a secondary color. Red and yellow are next to orange, so we know that we need to mix these to get that secondary color. Red is the common color in all of these colors. Now pick an analogous color scheme. What's the common color? Now let's go back to our neighborhood here. Each house is going to be one color in your analogous color scheme. Don't forget, analogous color schemes are three colors that are next to each other on the color wheel. If you haven't seen how to turn your markers into watercolors yet, go ahead and watch that video first before you watch this. For this project, you could use that technique, or you could use watercolors. Or you could use a mixture of the two techniques. Remember that when you put water down in one place and you put a color next to it, it might bleed together. So you may want to wait for one area to dry before you paint right next to it so they don't bleed together. Really take your time with this. We can work on this for a few days. We don't need to get this all finished in one day. We want this to look nice and neat. So here's a watercolor technique for if you want to color one area, just one color. This works really well for larger areas. You're going to take a wet paintbrush and it's going to be completely clean. So we're just putting down water. Once you have your entire area that you want filled in with that one color filled in with just water, you can dip into your color and watch it spread throughout that entire area. It's easier to push the color around nicely when you do this with larger areas. Now let's mix some colors to make our own custom colors on here. You're going to take your paint palette, or you could mix colors on your surface if you're doing the marker technique, and we're going to take two colors that are right next to each other on the color wheel. These mix the most nicely together. So for the grass, I decided to make it more of a brightly colored grass. So I'm going to mix together yellow and green to make yellow-green. Now, if your palette doesn't have this clean area for you to mix, you can take a wet paper towel and just clean it up really quick. Now, for the paths that are leading up to my house, I'm going to mix together my own brown. And I'm going to do that by mixing together complementary colors. So remember, complementary colors are colors that are across from each other on the color wheel. So I'm mixing together purple and yellow for my roads. Once I'm all finished filling in all of my paths to my houses, I'm going to fill in as many different areas as I can with the time that I have today. Now for today, I want you to leave your houses blank. Just think about what analogous color scheme you want to use for your houses when we start painting those in next week. So I thought this would be a good time to start using some analogous colors in my sky to show a sunrise. If you want to just have your bright blue sky for the daytime or your dark black sky for the nighttime, you could do that too. But if you'd like to create a sunset effect, you might want to start using some analogous colors. So I started by painting my entire background with just water so that my colors would spread together. Then I started with purple at the top, and I'm adding red in the middle. And you can see how these colors are kind of mixing on their own on the paper too. After red, I'm going to use a line of orange at the bottom. Then I'm going to use a clean paintbrush to mix these colors together on the paper.